Hi everyone, welcome to SOCI1010, Section W01, Introduction to Sociology. I'm your instructor, Gary Heidinger, and I want to spend a little bit of time highlighting what will be expected of you in the class. And I'm going to draw primarily on information that you will find in the course syllabus. By the way, if you end up mispronouncing my last name, don't worry about it. You will not be the first, nor will you be the last. I would prefer, if you are comfortable, should we address face-to-face, over the phone, etc., that you use my first name, Gary. But again, welcome aboard. Although I apologize for the fact that I did not number the pages of the syllabus. If you will count over to the 5th page, there's some important information noted. And by the way, I hope you will take the time to read the syllabus from cover to cover. I know it's pretty detailed and elaborate, but again, that detail and elaboration is there to help you. But on the 5th page, under that heading of what do you need to know to successfully complete this course, the second point will highlight how you can go on to Momentum D2L, access the video lessons, along with study guides, review guides, and other printed materials. But I want you to also pay attention to this first point. What research indicates what will help to ensure people being successful when completing online courses. Online courses can be very challenging. They're certainly not easier than face-to-face classes. But if you've got these particular qualities at hand, you're going to be in good shape. Now down at the bottom of the page, note, if you will, that this particular course is going to involve 4 key components. The course textbook, and by the way, over on the next page of the syllabus, down at the bottom, you will find a full description of the book itself. But it's by Henslin, and it's entitled The Essentials of Sociology. The secondary title, A Down-to-Earth Approach. And you want the 11th edition. Henslin has a very nice writing style. He doesn't try to overwhelm you. He has a very practical kind of approach. Furthermore, the course is going to consist of a number of video lessons. These are going to be arranged in units, each unit relating to a specific set of sociological concepts and ideas. And if you'll go on over to the next page of the syllabus, you'll highlight the fact that 2 other components will make up the course. 3 study guides, which you can access on Momentum along with the video lessons, and 3 review guides. Now, you need access to, again, all of these elements: the text, the video lessons, the study guides, and the review guides. But, and by the way, on the 4th page of the syllabus, I've kind of put it all together, and you'll find this noted at the end of the syllabus as well. You're introduced to the units, the video lessons that are involved, textbook chapter that relates to it, and the study guide that relates to the specific information associated with that unit. That's another valuable page for you to turn to. But again, I'm guessing if you were like me as an undergraduate and you were getting acquainted with the content of the class, what's going to interest you the most is right here. And this is on the 7th page of your syllabus. How much work is going to be involved in this class? What am I going to have to do to get out of here with the highest grade possible? So let's talk a little bit about grading and evaluation. And I've tried to detail this so that you'll have a pretty good feel for it. There will be 3 course exams. And if you'll notice, they're going to be, trust me, I'm kind of quirky, 40 points each. Now, the first 2 exams will be structured in such a way that there'll be 2 parts. The first part will be discussion questions. The second part will be multiple choice questions. And I've gone into some detail again to highlight what will be involved. On that first exam, I most likely, with respect to the discussion questions, I'll most likely give you 4 options, A through D. And I ask you to select the 2 you feel best qualified to answer. As to the second exam, there are 2 discussion questions. Again, 2 discussion questions. But I want you to bear in mind that in one of them, you won't have a choice. And I've specified that's going to deal with important concepts, ethnocentrism and cultural relativism. But the second discussion question, again, you may have as many as 4, 3, perhaps 2 options. You'll pick the 2 you feel best qualified to answer. And I've included on momentum D2L, with respect to exam 1 and exam 2, a listing of possible discussion question options, so you'll have some idea of what to expect. Now, both the first and the second exam will also have as a second component probably somewhere around 25, 26 multiple choice questions. The third exam will not have any discussion questions. It'll have 40 multiple choice questions. Now you want to bear in mind again that these multiple choice questions, and you can read through this to get a feel for the point value for the discussion questions as well as the multiple choice questions, but all multiple choice questions will be worth 1 point apiece. And I'm going to put on all 3 exams at least 2 extra credit multiple choice questions. And if you'll notice down at the bottom of the 7th, and this continues on over to the 8th page, I've highlighted what each of these exams will focus on as to units, textbook required readings, and the like. Likewise, if you'll go on over to the next page, this would be the 8th page of your syllabus, I've highlighted as well the fact that, and don't forget this, you've got to take your exams in either the Oak Ridge Branch Campus Testing Center or the Roane County Campus Testing Center. And as I've specified here, I realize this is an online class, but again, your testing will be done within the centers, and I'll specify the fact that you will be given at least an hour and a half, hour and 25, hour and a half to complete the exam, which should be plenty of time, but you want to organize your time effectively. Likewise, study this section, which highlights when you can take the exam. If you'll notice again, just to use the first exam as an illustration, you can take it anytime between June the 9th and June the 18th. It kind of depends on when you feel most comfortable. But you'll want to double check, and I've specified again within the syllabus how you can access the testing center hours of operation off of the Roane State webpage. You want to check and make sure again that you know the hours and the days that the testing center is open. Now, I'll notify you of your grades via Momentum D2L. And I pointed out the fact if any of you would like to, feel free during the time specified here. Again at the bottom of the 8th page. And this continues on over at the top of the 9th page. There's some times if you'd like to come by and face-to-face with me and go over the exam, I'd be more than happy to do that with you. Again, this lays out some times and dates for exam 1 and 2. Then at the top of the next page, this is again page 9, there's some information noted if you end up taking the last exam prior to, on the 20th or prior to, I'll be available on this date to go over the final exam with you if you would like. Okay, and again, here's the information in terms of how you can access the testing center in order to again learn the dates as well as the times when the testing centers are open. Now, in addition to the 3 exams, there is an action learning project, and that's exactly what I want it to be. I want it to be an opportunity for you to put into action some of the things that we'll talk about during the course of the semester. And I've discovered that sometimes one of the most effective ways for this to be done is to ask students to sociologically analyze, again, from a sociological perspective or point of view, a movie. Now, there's quite a bit of information in terms of guidelines that I've specified here. One of the things that we're going to talk about in class are the three major sociological perspectives: functionalist model, conflict model, symbolic interactions model. I'd like for you to apply all three, two, or just one to the content of a film. On the other hand, it may be that you see within the content of the film a very specific way to highlight, clarify, make sense of some of the major concepts and notions that we've talked about. So you're going to give me a very, 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 very brief summary of the film. I don't want you to spend much time on that. I can watch the film myself. Many of these that I have listed on the syllabus, I have already watched. But I'm most interested in your take on the film from the perspective of sociology. So once again, you can approach it using the three major perspectives. You might approach it by highlighting how scenes in the film, from your perspective, illustrated graphically certain sociological concepts and notions that we've covered in class. And if you'll continue on over in the syllabus to the next page, I've highlighted a series of films from which I hope you will find one of interest. This goes on over, I'm literally here, this is the 10th page, and it goes on over to the 11th page of the syllabus. Now, again, once you look at this, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to let me know. Bear in mind again that this project is going to be due on the 21st. It's going to be a written project. You're going to deliver it to me via Momentum D2L. Keep in mind, I'm not going to take any after the 24th. If you end up turning yours in later than the 21st, keep in mind, I'm going to detract some points. So go ahead and start thinking about this. And by the way, this list of films is nothing more than suggestions. If you've got in mind another film that you think has real application, just run it by me, if you will. And bear in mind, too, that if you choose to do so, you can complete a second action learning project. And you can get up to 10 points of graded extra credit. But I want you to bear in mind, this is going to be due on the 22nd of July. Remember again, your primary project is the 21st. If you're going to turn in an extra credit project the next day, the 22nd, and I'm not going to accept these late. Everybody cool with me on that point, I hope? Now, there's some other information within the body of the syllabus that I hope will help you to appreciate what I'm looking for. Don't worry about length. It's content that's going to be a key here. And I'm interested in what you have to say. This is a chance for you to get on a soapbox and sociologically let it all hang out, so to speak. That's cool with me. That's really what I'm looking for. There's no correct answers here. I'm just interested again in your sociological interpretation of the content of the film. But bear in mind, I want this to be well written. Part of your grade is going to be based upon your writing skills. And I do not apologize in any form or fashion for the fact that one of my intents by requiring this action learning project is to encourage you to write and write effectively. Now, if you'll move on further into the syllabus, over on to the last few pages, page 14, you'll find this section, the video lessons, textbook reading assignments, etc. Reacquaint yourself with the units. There you have a listing again of all of the video lessons through essentially Unit 5. Now, I'm still in the process of developing the content for Units 6 and 7. I hope to have those completed shortly. My hope is by the end of the second week in June. And when I do that, I'll notify you, probably give you an updated, if you wish, syllabus with all the new information included. Again, welcome aboard. I hope you will find this challenging and exciting. I hope it becomes more than just credit giving and grade giving. Because I can tell you one thing to bear in mind. Once you graduate from Rome State, go on to a 4-year school, graduate, maybe even go on and complete a master's or a doctorate. Bear in mind that after you complete all of these various degrees, you may never again complete a complex algebraic equation, debate the content of a poem by Emily Dickinson, or analyze in great detail various developments that led to some great historical development, like a war. But on the other hand, I can tell you something you will be doing the rest of your life. That is interacting with people. And that's what sociology is all about. Again, really very happy to have you in class. Enjoy the journey.